Johnny turns to see who had touched his shoulder and was the guard of the place. He told him that he could not be there and that he would release the dogs. Johnny leaves the place in a hurried race. A Rottweiler follows him, showing his teeth and wanting to destroy Johnny for having entered private property. Johnny manages to escape, gets to his car and goes home. At home, he investigates the most outstanding events of the year 1980 on the internet, looking for some clue that leads him to solve the death of his father in that year. Johnny goes to the report that his father had committed suicide, also indicating that the deceased had left a letter. Johnny immediately thought that if he could read that letter, he would find more clues and could somehow help his father. According to the experts, people who commit suicide will never find the heavenly peace because they have committed a kind of murder and have failed the life that God has entrusted to them. Therefore, Johnny is completely convinced that his father was not happy when he saw him in that morning when events occurred, where he was saved from a miracle more than 30 years ago. Johnny traveled that same afternoon to the town where his father worked. His mission was to find the letter that gives him clues about the death of his father, and that perhaps he did not kill himself, but he was murdered. Finding the murderer, the soul of his father can rest in peace in heaven forever. Johnny approaches a very old house, knocks the door. Comes a very strange guy who claims to be Captain Flores. Johnny explains his situation and asks if he remembers that afternoon when the event occurred in 1980. Captain Flores said that he was a child 37 years ago and does not remember much. He only saw people running to the cemetery to see the deceased and said that some people stopped a pregnant woman who cried and wanted to see the dead. That woman was my mother, and the baby she carried in her belly was me. Neighbors said that a pregnant woman should not touch a dead person or the child would fail. Johnny asked, but then who was in charge of lifting the corpse? Captain Flores said that his father, Sergeant Flores, was the officer in charge of those situations and that he had all the evidence gathered at the scene. I want to talk to Sergeant Flores at this point, said Johnny. There is a small problem that my dad died 20 years ago in a persecution of some criminals. I'm sorry. But my mother still lives, and she knew everything that happened to my father. Then I want to see your mom, said Johnny. Okay, her name is Antonia. Johnny goes to another humble house of the town and is received by an old lady very kindly. Doña Antonia, I want you to help me with my father's case. Remember? Adolfo Zambrano? Yeah, boy. I remember him very clearly, and I knew that someday you were going to come. So, can you help me with the evidence of that time? Asked Johnny. Of course, the old woman shows him a chest. They opened it, and inside it there were a ballpoint pen, a handkerchief, a very old watch, a magnifying glass, and a very yellow folded paper. Tears of emotion roll down Johnny's cheeks. He's about to read what his father wrote, he was about to know what his father was thinking before his death. If you want to see the next chapter of this story, just click like and subscribe to my channel. See you soon for more.